Welcome back, all of you. We'll continue with the next type of Fourier series, that is exponential Fourier series. We've already seen the concept of the trigonometric Fourier series, and it is basically it's a mathematical tool to represent your periodic signal as sum of harmonics. And on the similar note, we have the next category of Fourier series, that is exponential Fourier series. In case of exponential Fourier series, again we are able to represent your periodic signal xt in the form of complex exponential, summation of complex exponential. This is the mathematical expression for the exponential Fourier series. Xt is any periodic signal that is being represented as in the terms of Fourier series, exponential Fourier series. X of n over here, it is a Fourier series coefficient, and it is represented by the mathematical expression this is the mathematical expression for the Fourier series coefficient. Omega naught is the fundamental frequency. Capital T is the time period, and the integration range is over one complete time period. It can be from minus t by 2 to t by 2, or 0 to t, or t to 2t. We can take any interval as per our convenience of ease of the calculation. So this equation is known as synthesis equation, and this equation is known as analysis equation. So these are the two equations that represent your exponential Fourier series, concept of exponential Fourier series. Now, a very interesting thing to note over here is this Fourier series coefficient, exponential Fourier series coefficient. If we look at this coefficient very carefully, it is an integral term, and integral with respect to the variable time t, independent variable time t. And if you simplify this term, you will observe that this x of n is comes in the in terms of the frequency. So we can say that if this Fourier series coefficient is nothing but the frequency domain representation of xt. This x of n is frequency domain representation of xt. This is very important point with respect to exponential Fourier series, that this Fourier series coefficient is nothing but frequency domain representation of xt. Xt is any time domain signal. In order to represent that in frequency domain, we make use of exponential Fourier series coefficient. This gives us a very good insight about the time domain system. We can have another view of analysis by analyzing the signal in frequency domain. We can clearly see from this mathematical expression that each Fourier series coefficient corresponding to different values of n is associated with a complex sinusoid with a different frequency. So with the change in n, this frequency, the complex sinusoid, the frequency of this complex sinusoid will also change. So we can say this is nothing but the frequency domain representation of the time domain signal x of t. Next, let us have a look at the relationship between the two types of Fourier series that we have discussed, a trigonometric and the exponential Fourier series. Let us analyze the relationship between these two types of Fourier series. If we look at the trigonometric Fourier series, the expression of xt was a naught plus summation n ranging from 1 to infinity a of n cos n omega naught t plus b of n sine of n omega naught t. This was the expression for the trigonometric Fourier series, right? Now let us simplify it further. Let us write down these sinusoids in terms of the complex exponentials using the Euler's identity. You can write it as e raised to power j n omega naught t plus e raised to power minus j n omega naught t divided by 2 plus b of n e of j n omega naught t minus e of minus j n omega naught t divided by 2j. Right? Fine. Let us do some mathematical manipulations here. This can be written as a naught plus a n minus j times b of n by 2 raised to j n omega naught t plus a n plus j times b of n by 2 raised to minus j n omega naught t. Right? Just after doing some mathematical manipulations, we get x of t as this equation. Now let us assume that x of n, which is the exponential Fourier series coefficient, is equal to a n minus j times of b n by 2. We are making this assumption, and later on we'll prove that this assumption holds good. And this will also give you the relationship between the two, the trigonometric Fourier series and the exponential Fourier series. Let us name this equation as 1. Now let us substitute the values of an and bn in this equation. Let's say this is equation number 2. Substitute an and bn in 2. I hope you remember the expressions of an and bn. An is equal to 2 upon t integration 0 to t xt cos n omega naught t dt. Similarly, b of n is 2 by t integration 0 to t xt sin n omega naught t dt. Let us substitute these two values in equation number 2. This equation. So x of n can be written as 1 by 2 by t integration 0 to t xt cos of n omega naught t dt minus j times 2 by t integration 0 to t xt sin of n omega naught t dt. Right? Let us simplify it further. We get 1 by 2 into 2 by t integration 0 to t xt into cos of n omega naught t minus j times sin of n omega naught t dt. Simplify it further. This 1 upon t integration 0 to t xt e raised to power minus j n omega naught t dt. So x of n. And this is the expression that we gave earlier at the start of this lecture, that this is the Fourier series coefficient, which is 1 upon t integration 0 to t xt e raised to power minus j n omega naught t dt. So that means with this assumption, of the relationship between the exponential Fourier series coefficient and the trigonometric Fourier series coefficient, we get the same exponential Fourier series coefficient. Substituting n equal to 0 in this equation, we get x of 0, that is equivalent to 1 upon t integration 0 to t xt dt, which is nothing but equal to a naught, if you remember, the constant term in the trigonometric Fourier series coefficient. Thus we can say that x naught is equal to a naught. This is one relationship. And x of n is equal to a of n minus j times b of n by 2. These two relationship gives you the important insights or the correlation between the two, trigonometric Fourier series and the exponential Fourier series. Building upon, let us analyze some more important results based on these relationships. We can say that x of minus n would be equal to a of minus n minus j times b of minus n divided by 2. Now let us find out what will be a of minus n. a of minus n would be, let's say it's 2 by t 0 to t xt cos of minus n omega naught t dt. And we know cos is an even function, so this cos minus n omega naught t will be equal to cos of n omega naught t. Thus we can say that this a of minus n is nothing but equal to a of n, right? And on the other hand, b of minus n can be written as 2 by t integration 0 to t xt sine of minus n omega naught t dt. Now this sine of minus n omega naught t is equal to minus of sine n omega naught t, because it's an odd function, so we can say that it is equal to minus of bn, right? Now substituting these values of a of minus n and b of minus n in this expression of x minus n, we get x of minus n as an plus j times bn by 2. So now if we combine all the equations that we have derived, look at the equation number 1, this equation, and if we substitute the values, a naught we know it is equivalent to x naught, an minus j times bn is x of n, an plus j bn by 2 is, we have recently proved it is equal to x of minus n. If we substitute these values, x of t is equivalent to x naught plus summation n ranging from 1 to infinity xn e raised to power j n omega naught t plus x of minus n e raised to power minus j n omega naught t. Alright, and if you simplify it further, xt can be, if you club all these terms, can be written as summation n ranging from minus infinity to infinity, because we have 0th term here, n and minus n, so we have all the values of n from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of n e raised to power j n omega naught t, which is nothing but the expression of your exponential Fourier series that we wrote in the very first place. So these are the proof of these synthesis equation and the analysis equation. So we can say that exponential Fourier series is not a entirely different concept. It is completely correlated to the trigonometric Fourier series. We can say this exponential Fourier series is completely correlated to trigonometric Fourier series. It is just another way of representing a trigonometric Fourier series, or vice versa. We can say that trigonometric Fourier series is another way of representing exponential Fourier series. These two forms, they carry exactly identical information, no more and no less. And the reason for preferring this exponential Fourier series, this is always the preferred version of Fourier series as compared to trigonometric Fourier series. And the reasons for preferring this exponential Fourier series is that it is more compact in nature. If you look at the mathematical expressions of both, obviously this is much more compact and easier to manipulate mathematically. And the expressions for deriving the exponential coefficients is also more compact. That expression of x of n, that is again compact as compared to expressions of a naught, an, bn. There we need to calculate the three components separately, and all the three had some complicated integral terms. So it is much easier to calculate exponential Fourier series coefficient. And furthermore, the LTI system response to exponential signals is also simpler than the system response to sinusoids. Okay, so if we have a LTI system, so the input response to exponential signals is much easier to evaluate as compared to sinusoids. So this is another advantage why we prefer exponential Fourier series over trigonometric Fourier series. And also the exponential form proves to be much easier than the trigonometric form to manipulate mathematically. That I've already told, that for mathematical manipulations or analysis, we always go for exponential Fourier series as compared to trigonometric Fourier series. Next, we'll discuss the line spectrum concept. In relation to the exponential Fourier series. As we have already seen in case of trigonometric Fourier series, line spectrum is nothing, it's a plot showing, showing each of the harmonic amplitude in the wave or the given signal. So line spectrum gives you the harmonic amplitude of the wave, each harmonic amplitude of the wave or the given signal. So in case of this Fourier series, exponential Fourier series coefficient x of n, you can find out its magnitude spectrum as well as its phase spectrum. Okay, now let us look at the relationship between these magnitude spectrum and the line spectrum that we analyzed in case of trigonometric Fourier series. This magnitude spectrum is equal to square root of an square plus bn square by 2. We already know the relationship of xn and xn, the exponential Fourier series coefficient, and the trigonometric Fourier series coefficient, that is xn is equal to an minus j times b of n by 2. So using this expression, we can say that this magnitude spectrum x of n can be related to the trigonometric Fourier series coefficient as this, which is equal to c of n by 2. Okay. This is a very important expression. Magnitude spectrum is equal to Cn by 2. And on the other hand, we can say that Cn is nothing but equal to twice of this magnitude spectrum, n greater than equal to 1, and x of 0 for n equal to 0. Alright. Similarly, the phase spectrum is equal to tan inverse minus bn by a of n, also represented by theta n. These are the expression for the phase spectrum, and this is your magnitude spectrum. Another important property to note over here is that this magnitude spectrum is an even function. You can clearly see it from here. And the phase spectrum is an odd function. You can also verify this if you find out the phase spectrum for minus n, it will be equal to tan inverse minus b of minus n, a of minus n, and we have already seen b of minus n. This can be said as equivalent to b of minus n is equal to minus b of n. So you can say it is equal to tan inverse b of n by a of n, because a of minus n is a of n, and it is equivalent to minus of tan inverse minus bn by an. So set is equal to minus of x of minus n. So it's an odd function. Always remember, the phase spectrum is an odd function and the magnitude spectrum is an even function. Another concept of this Fourier series, exponential Fourier series, is that if you look at the expression of Fourier series, xt is equal to summation n ranging from minus infinity to infinity x of n e raised to j n omega naught t, right? So if we substitute the different values of n in the entire range, we can see that there is a negative frequency also present in the signal, right? So now let us look at the concept of negative frequency, whether there is something called negative frequency or not. But by the mathematical expression, we can clearly see that if n is negative, then this, let's say n is minus 4, then it will be minus 4 omega naught, which is clearly a negative frequency. Now let us analyze what is a negative frequency, what is the concept of negative frequency. The very first thing, there is nothing called negative frequency. Nothing called negative frequency in the real world. Okay, so the existence of the spectrum at the negative frequencies is somewhat disturbing here. You can clearly see that this is the signal, and if we analyze it, the spectrum exists at negative frequencies also, minus n omega naught also, which is quite disturbing. But by definition, the frequency is a positive quantity. However, so how do we interpret this negative frequency? Negative frequencies are present in exponential Fourier series because the mathematical model of a signal requires the use of negative frequency. This mathematical model, this synthesis equation and the analysis equation, this mathematical model requires the use of negative frequency. Only the mathematical model requires the use of negative frequencies. In actual or in real world, there is nothing called negative frequency. Only this mathematical models, this synthesis equation and the analysis equation, they require the use of the negative frequency. And on the other hand, the exponential spectrum, they are the graphical representation of the coefficient x of n with respect to omega. So the existence of spectrum at omega equal to minus n omega naught is merely an indication that an exponential component, this frequency is merely an indication that the exponential component e raised to power minus j n omega naught t exists in the series. And this function of frequency minus n omega naught, or you can say the negative frequency, represents the counterpart of the signal e raised to power j n omega naught t, which constitutes of the positive frequency, that is n omega naught. So these are the two counterparts, nothing else. Okay, and it is only present in the mathematical model. Okay, so this function e raised to power minus j n omega naught t with this negative frequency minus n omega naught t represents the counterpart of this signal e raised to power plus j n omega naught t with positive frequency n omega naught. And when these two exponentials are combined, when we combine these two exponentials, because we use a summation expression, right? When these two exponentials are combined, we get a real function which is sinusoid in nature with frequency n omega naught, isn't it? If we combine this, we get what? A sinusoid, which is real in nature with frequency n omega naught. So this is the concept of the negative frequency, that in real world application there is nothing called negative frequency. It only exists in the mathematical model which requires the use of negative frequency. The analysis equation and the synthesis equation both they use the concept of negative frequency only. And this negative component in this mathematical model, which corresponds to negative frequency, is nothing but the counterpart of this positive frequency component. And when we add, because we use a summation term, we get a real sinusoid term with frequency n omega naught. Let us do one question based on the exponential Fourier series concept. We'll take up the same question as we did in the case of trigonometric Fourier series. We'll take a sawtooth waveform and we'll try to find out the exponential Fourier series for this. This is a periodic signal given. Amplitude is 10 by 4 by 6 minus 2. The exactly same question we have done in the case of trigonometric Fourier series also, if you remember. Now let us do it with the help of exponential Fourier series and let us analyze the two outputs whether they are the same or not. The question is to find the exponential Fourier series for this waveform, and using the coefficients of this exponential Fourier series, that is x of n, obtain an bn of trigonometric Fourier series. That is the question. First we need to find out the exponential Fourier series, and with the help of the obtained Fourier series coefficient, we need to find out a and bn of the trigonometric Fourier series, that is the Fourier series coefficient of the trigonometric Fourier also. Let us analyze it. What is the time period here? Time period is 2 pi. This waveform is repeating after every 2 pi interval. So time period is 2 pi. The fundamental frequency will be 2 pi by t, which is equivalent to 1. And the expression for this signal x of t in one time period will be 10 upon 2 pi into t. We have already seen this expression. The range 0 to 2 pi. Right. Now the first step will be to find out the exponential Fourier series coefficient x of n. Right. X of n will be equal to 1 upon t. The standard expression is 1 upon t, and the integral range will be 0 to t in one time period. Xt e raised to power minus j and omega naught. This is the standard expression for the Fourier series coefficient. Let us substitute the values. T is 2 pi, xt is 10 by 2 pi into t e raised to power minus j and t. Omega naught is 1, so we will substitute that dt. Right. Simplify this integral expression. It will be 10 upon 2 pi square minus 1 upon j of n t times e raised to power minus j and t minus 1 upon j n square e raised to power minus j and t. Range is from 0 to 2 pi. To simplify it, we get further j times 10 by 2n pi. This is the exponential Fourier series coefficient x of n. Okay, and x of 0, that is equivalent to a of 0, will be equal to 1 upon t integration 0 to t xt dt. We can see clearly that this expression is not defined for n equal to 0. So we need to find out that expression separately, and it will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi integration 0 to 2 pi 10 by 2 pi into t dt. It comes out to be 5. To simplify it, it comes out to be 5. So x naught equal to k naught comes out to be 5. Now let us write down the expression for the exponential Fourier series. Xt is equal to summation and ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n e raised to power j and omega naught t, which is equal to x of n e raised to power j and t. Omega naught is equal to 1. Substituting the values here, so we will start with 5. 5 is the x naught term plus j times 10 by 2 pi e raised to power j t plus j times 10 by 4 pi e raised to power j t, so on. And on the negative side also minus j times 10 by 2 pi e raised to power minus j t, and minus j times 10 by 4 pi e raised to power minus 2 j t, so on. Right. This will be the Fourier series, exponential Fourier series expansion. Now coming to the next part of the question, we need to find out an and bn. A naught we have already derived, it is equal to 5. Now let us find out an and bn. We know the relationship that xn is equal to an minus j times of bn by 2. So here we can say that an is nothing but equal to twice of real part of xn, right? Or we can say an is equal to x of n plus x of minus n. This is one relation. Similarly, b of n can be written as j times x of n minus x of minus n. So using these two expressions, you can find out values of an and bn, and that comes out to be an comes out to be 0 and bn comes out to be minus 10 raised to power n pi. These are the values of an and bn, and using these values of a naught, an and bn, we can easily write down the trigonometric Fourier series here. xt is equal to 5 minus 10 upon 5 sine t minus 10 upon 2 pi sine of 2t minus 10 upon 3 pi sine of 3t and so on. And you can verify this answer with the previous question that we did in the case of trigonometric Fourier series. You'll get the same answers. Okay. So that is all in this video lecture. Thank you.